Morning, seventh grade. I want to go over some of the writing, the assignment that I posted yesterday to turn your facts into 5 paragraphs. So I did post a copy of an example on Google Classrooms that you can look at. We're going to take a look at it together now so that you can see what I mean. So you needed to, earlier this week, starting Monday, do research on your historical event. So you needed to find facts about it. You needed to get those facts, share them with me in a Google Doc. You also needed to list your sources. So for each fact, all you need to do is copy and paste where you got it from. So the web address, and remember, no Wikipedia. So we're going to take a look at the example together that I showed you. That's on there, that's you can take a look at. So I chose to write my example on the fall of the Berlin Wall, since that would have been after the date that I gave you. So, nobody's going to write about this same thing. So finding facts about the Berlin Wall, and then putting that together, or the fall of the Berlin Wall rather, and then putting that together into 5 paragraphs to give you just a brief history of what was going on. So if you look down here at the bottom, these are my sources. And so I should be able to click on your sources. All you need to do is copy and paste those, but that tells me where you got your information. Okay, now it's important to remind you that you need to use your own words. You may not copy and paste from anywhere. Okay, so you have to tell the story of your event in your own words. So let's take a look at this together. Okay, so my title is what the actual event was about. So if your event is the Boston Tea Party, okay, it's the Boston Tea Party. Notice I am not starting out my 5 paragraphs with a question. Okay, that's elementary school stuff. We don't do that. Okay, so you're writing an informative historical, you're writing informatively about a historical event that happened. So we're not starting with that with did you ever, have you ever? Okay, we don't do that. That's what they do at Little Salina and upstairs. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, so you're writing something factual. So I'm beginning by telling you a little bit about the Berlin Wall, what it is, because you might not know. I bet a lot of you don't know what the Berlin Wall is. We don't talk about it much in history until later in high school when you talk about, more 20th century American history. So the Berlin Wall in Germany stood for more than 30 years. It divided the 2 separate countries of East Germany and West Germany in the city of Berlin. So Berlin was the capital of Germany, and divided it right down the middle is what I found out in my sources. So I'm putting this into my own words. I am not copying anybody's words. These are mine, okay? East Germany belonged to the Soviet Union, and West Germany was an independent country. On November 9th, and this is a mistake here, it should say 1989, so I'm going to fix that. And that goes to revising and editing. On November 9th, 1989, the first parts of the wall began to be torn down. Okay, so this is giving you background into what my event is, okay, when this wall actually fell. So after World War II ended in 1945, the Soviet Union took over East Germany. The Soviet Union had a form of government called communism. In communism, the government owns all of the businesses and is supposed to share the wealth with all the citizens equally. The government also has a lot of control over people's lives. So I'm telling you why this Berlin Wall was there. Why was it there? So if you're writing about the Boston Tea Party, why did the Boston Tea Party happen? Okay, that's going to be part of what you're writing about. If you're writing about civil rights, why was it important that people wanted civil rights? What was going on in the world that made that necessary or made that happen? Okay, so you need a little bit of background information when you're finding your facts. Why is very, very important, okay? How is important too, right? But also why. So most people in East Germany did not like living under communism and would escape to West Germany, which was a democracy. In a democracy, people have much more freedom. The Soviet Union did not like that people were escaping, so they built a huge wall on the border between East and West Germany called the Berlin Wall. It started out as a barbed wire fence and later became a 12-foot high wall built with concrete blocks. It was 96 miles long. So I'm describing to you what that was about. If you are writing, about the building of something, okay, you definitely want to describe it so that your reader knows what you're talking about and knows that you actually looked some things up about it. You are not putting pictures in. You are not putting slides. This is writing, okay? So I know we like to make slides, and we do make slides and things sometimes, but this is not a project where you are making slides. This is about the writing, okay? Because we have to get that down. That's super important, okay? There were soldiers with guns guarding the wall to prevent anyone from going through to the other side. About 200 people were killed trying to get to West Germany while trying to escape. Many world leaders, including the American President Ronald Reagan, urged the leader of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, to tear down the wall. So this was seen as a problem in a lot of parts of the world. At last, at midnight on November 11, 1989, the first parts of the wall were taken down because the Soviet Union was collapsing. The way that the Soviet government had run their territory had caused extreme poverty and hardship in the Soviet Union. People on both sides of the wall helped to tear it down. Now the Soviet Union does not exist and Germany is united as one country. Okay, so there's a lot more to it, obviously, but we're only doing 5 paragraphs, okay? So this tells you the basic story of what was going on and what happened. Notice at the end, I have my sources listed. I've got 4 listed. I want you to have at least 3 sources, okay? At least 3. Can you have more? Yes, but at least 3 different sources, so you're not getting all of your information in one place. I noticed when I was looking, if you look down here, I'm looking at history.com. Okay, now I know that .coms aren't always the best, but I do know that history.com is a reliable source. They have, they're not trying to sell you things. They're not, okay, they're a source that is committed to providing history, right? But that didn't tell me everything I needed to know. Okay, so this is a .org, okay, right here. KidsBritannica.com. Britannica is a company that has encyclopedias. They give information and they have sites for kids. So I had some information from there. And then also Duxters. We used Duxters, if you remember, when we talked about the Greek gods and goddesses. It's a good site for history, is Duxters, especially for middle school. So those were some sites that I got my sources from, okay? When you're doing this, this is your first draft. Your first draft is due on Monday, April 13th, when we get back from spring break. We are on spring break next week. I'm not posting lessons, okay, but I do expect you to work on this a little bit, and you can share it with me when you're done. First draft does not mean you get to do it all sloppy and crazy and we'll fix it. I want you to try to do it the best you can. When we get back, we're going to talk about revising and editing, okay? But you do need to make sure that you are capitalizing all of the important things. So for example, Berlin Wall, this is the name of a thing, so it is capitalized. That is a proper noun, okay? And the title, my important words are capitalized, okay? The, of course, at the beginning is going to be capitalized. Of and the aren't terribly important words, so they are not capitalized. If you look through my essay, okay, Berlin Wall is always capitalized. The country of Germany, East Germany, West Germany, Soviet Union, November, okay? This is important. You need to capitalize your words. Also, I should not see in your essay the word I, talking about yourself. This is not an opinion piece, right? You're writing facts. So this is informational writing. You're not writing your opinion. You're not writing how surprised you were or anything like that. We're not doing a narrative essay. This is informational. So you're just writing factually. And again, you are not copying anybody else's words. You are using your words, okay? A lot of you, especially when you're doing summaries and things, you're copying and pasting. That's not okay, right? And we've talked about that in class. You have to write your own words. That's going to be something that you have to follow all the way through your whole educational career, okay, up through college. So you're not copying and pasting. Use your own words. If you use a word in your essay, you should know what it means. Okay, you shouldn't be using any word that you can't tell me what the meaning is, right? If you're wanting to quote something from a website, you need to make sure you put quotation marks around it and then that you cite the source, just like we do in a CER. And we're going to be practicing more CERs when we get back as well to make sure you don't lose that, because that's a really important thing. And we've done the CERs in class. So you have the quotation marks at the beginning of the quote, at the end of the quote, and then when you're done with the quote, in parentheses, where did you get it from? Because those are not your words. You have to give credit where that's due, okay? So if you have questions, okay, send them to me through email. We'll work on revising and editing when we get back. Email or private comment, either one. Private comment on the assignment, that's fine. No problems there, but hopefully that helps. Have a great spring break. You know, go out on your porch or in your backyard, okay, get a little sunshine, get a little fresh air. Instead of being cooped up in the house all the time, okay, you are, you know, the governor says you're allowed to, you know, go outside, okay, but get some fresh air, get some sunshine. That's important too. And we will talk to you guys very soon.